Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I just want to introduce you to Cheryl Orlov. She's an entrepreneur and she's built a multi-million dollar furniture business from the ground up over the last 30 years. She sourced and purchased indoor, outdoor furniture and home decor items. The pieces were distributed to furniture stores, clients in the trade, and installed by interior designers and stage projects. Her business allowed her the opportunity to travel for business and pleasure. She's traveled to all 7 continents and visited over 35 countries. Her dream has always been to move abroad and visit as many countries as possible. She's had a wanderlust and curiosity to connect with the world by meeting new people, embracing new cultures, learning new languages, experiencing diverse art, architecture, music, and regional foods. She's made her dream come true this last September 2023. She sold and donated almost all of her possessions and moved to Albania. So she currently is taking a work sabbatical while she figures out her next chapter to look what it's going to look like in her life. Besides many passions listed above, she's a huge dog lover, and she also is devoted over the last 25 years to personal development by honing her skills in emotional intelligence, active listening, and engaging interpersonality. She takes a deep interest in interacting with others in the climate of mutual interest, respect, and meaningful conversation. Her vision is to be light and a lens for other female solo travelers to follow their passion for travel. So here we go, Cheryl. I'm excited to have you on um, our interview, and we'll go into the questions.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on board. We've known each other for a while, but I know you've talked about this venture for a while, and now you've done it. And so I'm sure a lot of people are curious what you went through to get to attaining your dream. So the first question is, this past year, you made the decision to transform your life from a full-time Los Angeles-based entrepreneur of a successful business that you created to scale way back and work out of your suitcase and laptop and live in Albania. What prompts such a major decision, and why did you choose Albania?
Wow. So what prompted my decision? Well, it was a dream since my 20s to move abroad, to travel the world and all of that. And, it just the years have just gone by and it was like it was just a dream. And then, just as I was just getting older and I started to travel overseas. My first overseas trip was when I was 30. And I just started developing this wanderlust because it's one thing to have it in your head of like an idea, but when you actually go out and seek the world, and the more places that I would travel, the more and more I just knew, I knew I just wanted to move abroad. I would say I started to get more serious about it. I just didn't know like the when. And so what I did back, I think it just really started in 2017. I just started to sell. I had some real estate properties and started downsizing my life. And, just I had a dog. So, look, there was just responsibilities and obligations. I had my company and all of that. In the meantime, though, I would just seek out different parts of the world, like what would make sense to me. If I looked at Nicaragua one time, I was just sometimes I would just go into this like, just start digging or just start researching. And in March of 2022, I was going through a breakup, and then I just went online. We were actually heading to the airport, and I knew I wasn't gonna stay with my boyfriend. So I was like, well, this is it. I'd sold my properties. My dog went to doggy heaven. It was getting I was toward the end of my career in the furniture business, even though I'm still in it. I've been wanting out for a long time. And the pandemic was starting to like, you know, to be over with, you know? So I just started, I just listened to my intuition and I just started Googling while we're heading to the airport, safe places for women over 50 to move to. And it just started with that. And then I started listening to these podcasts, the expat podcasts and people moving abroad. And it was just like I was digging and digging and digging, and Albania came up. And I was like, wow, Albania, because I've been to over 35 countries. So I was like, Albania. And I just started digging and I was like, wow. And I'm the type that I'm, obviously an entrepreneur. I take risks, but I take calculated risks. So I did my scouting trip in September of 2022 to make sure that sometimes things can be a fantasy. And as soon as we did a scouting trip and I landed, we went from Corfu and we took a ferry over to the southern Albania, and I stepped on foot onto their port, the port of Saranda, and I knew I was home.
Oh, that's great. I love that you were at home. So before you took that plunge, was there a voice, like a whisper in your mind, that made you decide this, or how did you quiet the voice or move forward? I think you mentioned a little bit about it. It sounded like you felt at home, but like, so what moved you forward faster, I guess? What's the question?
I think it's just getting, I think I don't know if you feel this way, but just when the years, my mom used to say, when I was in my 20s, and I would, was trying to do like the traditional thing in life, get my college degree, date, get married, have a family. That kind of, I always felt like I had all these shoulds. And, when I, I think it was just my last relationship. I was like, I can't, I just have to I have to do with this already. I knew that I always felt this obligation, like I have to fit into this traditional role in society. And all I've ever wanted was to just travel the world. And I was just like, if not now, when?
Right,
And I had zero regrets at the time, but I knew that if I didn't follow my dream, then I would regret it tremendously.
right. So what was the hardest part of making the move, and what turned out to be the easiest?
Well, two things. So when I sold my home in Hawthorne and I moved to this probably one of the best homes I've ever lived in. I had this cute cottage home in Redondo Beach. It was probably, I just loved it. My neighbors are incredible. So, I just have a really, I have, I mean, still, because I'm in LA right now, I have a really nice life here. My life is really good. So leaving my life, like, leaving my home, and also, I started downsizing in 2017. But the last month, having to go through, because I've been like, did these rounds and rounds and rounds of going through all my possessions. And there's nothing harder than touching every single item you own and having to make a decision, because I couldn't take everything with me. And I think that was really hard. And I think that's why it stops people. There's just so many other factors as well, but like that, I would say, yeah, my life, my home, my friends, and my possessions.
I
Yep.
can see that. So what was the easiest? Turned out to be the easiest.
The easiest part was once I got past all of those fears about leaving my home and and giving away or selling all of my things. What's surprised me was how easy it was when I landed in Albania, what an easy transition it was for me. I thought it was going to, because it's a completely different language. And, I mean, even though I picked it because it was similar, it has a similar topography to California. There's a sea in the Alps and, similar climate and things like that. But it was like as if I had come home.
And you mentioned that when you went there, immediately you were able to find a place and people who embraced you. Was that true?
I belong to several expat, they're like Albanian expat Facebook groups. And just happened to be that this American couple that lives in the building that I live in now, they posted an apartment that was for rent in the building. And, they spoke very highly of the landlord and everything. So I did everything on good faith. I actually spoke to the landlord in August, and I didn't even I basically rented the place outside unseen. I mean, we did a virtual tour, but I just liked the landlord so much. I lived in the US for 6 years, and I just went with my intuition. I just in so yeah, so I was very lucky when I moved to Tirana, which is the capital of Albania. I already had a place to live. I had my own apartment. It wasn't like, because usually people get an Airbnb and they take some time, but I already found a really good fit for me. The landlord and his wife and their kids, and they've actually adopted me. So it's like I live in
Oh,
this little, yeah, I live in this community. It's like this, and
oh,
right next to the zoo, right next to the zoo. So I'm not in the city center per se. I'm kind of like LA. I lived in the South Bay, so it wasn't in this like the crazy. When I want to go to crazy, I just drive to crazy. But I had and it's kind of like that in Tirana. I get to live next to the zoo, so the only noise I hear is Leo the lion roaring.
oh. And what, if anything, surprised you about your new lifestyle, or what was it you expected it to be?
I was just again, I am so surprised at just how much I just fit into living in Tirana. It just wasn't like a culture shock for me. It just felt like I came home. I love my apartment. I've been like decorating, spending, because I'm in the furniture business. So I spent half the time I was there just measuring and shopping for furniture. And I Elton, who's my landlord, and his wife Alorica, and the kids and their family, extended family. Um, I always they feel like they I feel like I'm spending time with my family there. They have, in fact, my apartment is right near a cafe. So I just it's just been the easiest even like I don't think I remember ever it's probably the easiest transition, even when I moved to a new home in the States, whether it's been in Las Vegas or LA. Um, what surprised me is just like how simple and easy it has been for me.
So it was meant to be kind of feeling almost.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's great. And do you feel the choice you made is a personal one for yourself, or something that more people in the United States ought to consider, given the nonstop goal-orientated kind of nature of the U.S. culture?
That's a good question. I think for me, because I've been traveling around the world, and then I've also belonged to a cultural exchange group where I would host people from other countries at my home in LA. And I think it all depends on your stage of life. Like I get why people want to move to the States because there's just so much financial potential here that people don't get in other countries. So, in my 20s and 30s and 40s, it made sense to be here and acquire wealth. Um, but now that I'm in my 50s, like for as a personal choice, it made sense because I was tired of the grind, the do go. It's just this like fast pace, and I feel like my life was just passing me by. And I just love, I just know at this stage I want to live a slower pace. I want to be more than do more. I just want to be with people and be present. And so for me, it made sense because living in Europe and especially Albania, it's just a slower pace of life. So I get to kind of slow down and just be rather than I just felt like if I didn't leave, I was taking a lot of years off of my life. It was very stressful. That's all. So
Right.
I think it's just as far as for other people, it's just depends on what their goals or what their needs are. That's on where they're at in their life.
So what advice do you have for anyone who's considered following in your footsteps?
I would say, what's so great now that I didn't have in my 20s. I think that's why I don't have any regrets about leaving sooner. We have the internet now, and so you can research anything anytime, and there's groups to join, and there's just so many resources that I didn't have in my 20s. So I'd say, if this is something that's important, or that there's this burning desire to want to do it, definitely do your research. You can go online. I did Zoom calls with people. I met people in different Facebook groups, and I just asked if we could talk on Zoom, and I did a lot of research, a lot of different types of research. And yeah, and then I think it's important to just, you can do all the research in the world. I think it's important to go and do a scouting trips are very important, just to make sure, because I think for myself, I know, like, I've traveled to 7 continents, and there's just some places that resonate and some places that don't. So it's really important to really put the dream into reality and see if it's really a fit. Like, not the right timing, like my parents, my dad passed away in 2003. My mom passed away in 2012. Like, if my mom and dad were still alive, I wouldn't be going. So I know that people have, like, there's a lot of factors to take in consideration before
Right.
you just make, you make the jump. So but there's things that can be done in the meantime, like the research or downsizing, and things like that, so that it's not so hard when you're ready to do it.
Okay, so they could do it slowly.
I'd say in Albanian, they're saying there's a avash avash, which is slowly, slowly.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
their motto.
That's a good one.
Slowly, slowly.
And who and what inspired you to stay focused on your unconventional path?
If we really listen to our intuition or our authentic self, the answers are all within. And for me, it just was always just a burning desire to want to travel around the world, since I was really young. And then it's not the most conventional lifestyle. So, so I realized I was really alone in that, especially like my friends that live here, they're not planning to move abroad. So what really helped, what really inspired me, where I got support, was my Facebook groups. But then I joined yes, there's some Facebook groups that really cater to especially female solo travelers that want to move abroad. And I actually took a course that really helped, because I kept teeter-tottering back and forth and back and forth. And and then I took this course in, I think it was May of last year, and I met like so many like-minded women that wanted to do the same thing, and we've been in touch ever since. And I think that's what helped a lot. And the woman, the coach that hosted the course, the workshop, that really, I think that's what helped me, like, finally make the jump.
Oh,
Otherwise, it's just a dream other than
right.
that.
So, is there anything else that you wanted to add to this um, discussion?
I just say, I think what happens, I don't know if you feel this way sometimes, but it's sometimes we just have that burning desire, and we're like, no, we just kind of put it aside, put it aside, put it aside. Yeah, no, because we're kind of in this I don't know if you want to call it a hamster wheel, or, just this, like, going through the motions every day, going through the motions. And we kind of I've ignored, like this dream. And I don't know if it's just that I didn't think I could do it, or someday, one day, and I'd say just whatever that is for, for anyone out there, it's just to really listen, hone in and listen and honor it. It's okay. And it doesn't mean you have to change up your life tomorrow or whatever, or, it doesn't matter, but just to, that I think that we only get this one life, and we deserve, we all deserve to have, joy, to live a
Right.
really purposeful, joyful life. And and my mom used to say it just goes really fast, and I just didn't think I'm going to be 54 in March. I never thought I'd be 54 now.
Right. And I love
And
that
that was
you
when I
just,
was in my 20s. It goes really fast. So, life goes really fast. So it's just like, it's like, live your dreams now, at least, or making baby steps toward them.
yeah, I just love that you just came here, and then you just went to Mexico. You came back, you do a few things, you're going to go back again before you go back to Albania. And it sounds like that's exactly what a person that's doing what you're doing should be doing. I love that they have the capability to do that, and you figured out a way to do it. Cheryl has a Instagram that it's called Fearless Wanderer with the O. Fearless and then WONDERER on Instagram. And you're also on Facebook, did you say?
I'm on Facebook, so I'm taking a work sabbatical right now. So yes, but you can, I did set up a Instagram page, Fearless Wanderer. I have not posted yet because I've just really been taking in Albania for myself. However, you can follow me and also message me if you have questions. Yeah, I'm happy to share Albania or just travel in general. Happy to answer any questions.
Great. I really appreciate this. I think there are a lot of women who would really be inspired by your journey and all the things you went through to get where you're at today. And I'm sure everyone envies your where you're at today because and you had the courage to do it. And that's what this video is all about, is you sharing what it took to get there. So I really appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you interviewing me. And I just want to say that if I can do it, anyone can. It's totally possible. Not that it's easy, yet it's possible, and and you can make it happen if you really want it.
All right. Thank you so much, Cheryl.
Thank
Appreciate it.
you. Thank you.